Namaste everyone. In this video I would like to tell you a little bit more about the ongoing 6-month cycle of Venus, about which I have recently wrote in my article. You can check the link below. Now, what is this cycle all about? As you know, Venus is the planet of our joy, of our ability to feel happiness, bliss, pleasure, love, effortlessness in life. It's the most important benefic planet, in fact. But normally, every year, for a period of about 3 months, Venus goes into a dormant state, Sushupti Avastha, which can be also addressed as starved state or Kshudhita Avastha. This happens whenever Venus enters into the sign of Cancer, which is the enemy Rashi. From then, she proceeds to the sign of Leo, another enemy Rashi, and the whole cycle culminates with Venus dwelling in Virgo, the sign of her debilitation. So when Venus goes, through these 3 signs, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, normally for a period of about 3 months, this is very often the time when we may experience certain dissatisfaction in life. We may feel that things that normally were bringing us joy and pleasure, they fail to do so. Due to that, we may be overly emotional. Due to that, we might be easily triggered as well. And we may have amplified tendency also to project this dissatisfaction that we feel within us upon others. But in reality, when Venus is going through such a starved state or dormant state, it is a great time for us to address this dissatisfaction within us, not to ignore it, but to actually address it, welcome it, and see what is actually missing in our life. What else can we do differently? Because you see, whenever planet goes dormant in the sky, we may temporarily be kind of bereft of its external significations. External significations of Venus would be experience of pleasure, both in material sense, also in our relationships, some form of fulfilment and effortlessness in life. But when she goes dormant, she inspires us to, rather than depend on our happiness and fulfillment on those external things, to try and find it inside our hearts. Because guess what? Venus represents our heart chakra itself. So during this time, she inspires us not to search for those things in the outside, but to search for them within. Through meditation, through self-compassion, through not running away from all those unpleasant feelings, but rather trying to embrace them, trying to face them and see how we can also heal them, how we can heal this inner child within us as well. So normally this period, like I mentioned to you, lasts for about 3 months, but this year it's going to be quite intense because it is extended for a period of 6 months. And how does that happen? It is because somewhere in the middle of this period, Venus will go retrograde. So right after Venus will enter the sign of Leo, soon after that time, she will start moving retrograde. And she will go back to the sign of Cancer to revisit those same life lessons that we already went through. The life lessons connected to Ashlesha Nakshatra. Venus will in fact spend an extraordinarily long time in Ashlesha Nakshatra this year. She will soon enter into this lunar mansion, then she will smoothly exit to Leo. But the moment she goes back retrograde and then back forward again, that entire period will take almost 2 months, when Venus will be dwelling in Ashlesha Nakshatra, both in retrograde movement and in direct movement. And this is of course an incredibly sensitive place for Venus to dwell in, because Ashlesha Nakshatra represents our attachments and especially those that are very hard for us to let go of. So precisely, in that particular period, we might find that some of our own attachments, some of our own unfulfilled desires and expectations will be causing us certain mental disturbances. During this time, we may feel also like some of our own inner poisons and bitterness that we have been holding in our hearts for so long are coming to the surface, for us to address them, for us to also liberate our hearts from them, to heal them with the power of self-compassion and love. But it is to be expected that this period will cause quite some inner emotional churning within us, especially if we choose to focus our attention on the outside rather than bring it inside. The more we focus it on the outside, the more pain we may end up experiencing. But the more we focus on the inside, the more ability to heal it we'll find. Now, you see, when Venus is in such a placement, a very important thing for all of us to do is to try our best and to not necessarily project our emotions on the outside, act impulsively, and immediately blame our relationships for what we are going through. But in period like that, it's more important that you actually take a step back, spend more time in silence, actually think before you speak, and practice introspection. Don't believe everything your mind is saying. Don't believe every single feeling, that pops in your mind. But give it time, observe it, embrace it. Even if it's difficult to embrace, still embrace it. In the same way how a mother, would embrace a crying child, embrace your emotions in the same way. Be with them, don't judge them, don't criticize them, don't try them to be different, don't try to change them. But at the same time, don't take them too seriously, and remember, whatever you will be experiencing this time, it will pass. It's not going to be forever. And it is coming into your life for a purpose. And this is always the best thing we can ask ourselves whenever we go through a difficult period. Why is this happening to me? Why? Not in a judgmental way, that why God makes me experience that situation, but why? In a sense, what's the purpose? What's my lesson here? What is my unhealed karma, unhealed emotions? What I am learning to embrace and integrate during this period? So of course, this is the period where Venus herself, who represents our heart, will be going through deep, deep purification. Because at some point during Venus retrograde cycle, which takes about 40-45 days, what happens is that Venus becomes fully conjunct with Sun. She just disappears into the Sun completely, which will take place between 10 and 15 August. And the culmination, or Venus' full conjunction with Sun, will happen in Ashlesha Nakshatra itself. Now, Sage Varahamihira so beautifully said, and I like to bring it on over and over again, because it is a beautiful metaphor to understand what happens to a planet that disappears into the Sun or gets combusted by the Sun. What happens is that such a planet is being purified. Varahamihira said, in the same way how you throw gold into the fire to purify it, in the same way, such a planet, by proximity of Sun, who represents the soul itself in the sky, we also get purified, eventually. The process itself might be not pleasant at all, but actually once you go through it, you will emerge being a new person. And if you allow yourself to be purified, you will be different. You will feel lighter. So the biggest really lesson for all of us during this period is learn how to let go. So the worst thing that we can do to ourselves in this period is to oppose this purification, is to oppose this change from happening. And this is why one of the biggest life lessons for all of us during these 6 months of Venus cycle is to learn how to let go, learn how to surrender. Don't hold so much onto things. Don't try to always have them your way. Don't always try to follow the voice of desire or expectation within you. But try to rather connect to that which is deeper inside of you, because that will be much more reliable source of happiness and much more reliable compass as to what is even the right thing to do at the moment. So what you can do during this 6 months period of Venus, remember that Venus represents Goddess Lakshmi herself in the sky. If you feel, that this period already starts churning something within you, connect with Goddess Lakshmi. Connect with her through her mantra, through meditating with her. I also did a couple of guided meditations with Goddess Lakshmi, which you can engage with. Or even a very long, journey with Lakshmi, 53 days process, which has as its very goal to actually take you on this purifying journey along with Venus, to help you purify those things within yourself which still require purification, so you can embody the positive qualities of Lakshmi, the divine qualities of Lakshmi in your own life. So you'll find all the links for that below in the description of this video. And I wish you all that this cycle of Venus, even if it will bring some difficulties into your life, that you will take it as an opportunity to change something in your life. That you will not oppose it, but that you will allow this inner change of heart to happen. Because like that, you will be able to truly benefit from this period. So I wish you all the best. If you want to check other dates of this particular transit, do read the article that I wrote about this Venus cycle, which is on Medium. You will also find the link below. Namaste.